All right, everybody. This is the Statistics Unit 1 Review B. So this is in preparation of our retest that we have. So what we see here is we begin with a bunch of summations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my calculator so it can help me do these summations a little bit quicker. Where I enter this X and Y list is in this menu button. I go to menu, I go to the stat option. Again, if there's anything in there, I delete all, but there isn't, so I can go ahead and just enter my X and Y list. Okay, so I have my list 1 as my X and my list 2 as my Ys. Again, this is all in this stat category right there. All right, I am going to now do my mathematics, the actual math of it, so I go to the main calculator screen, which is that Run Mat. So the very first problem that I have to do is the summation of X. Where I found the summation, again, is in the catalog option right here, written in gold above the 4, so it's Shift 4 for the catalog. I need to find the word sum, which is at the end of the letter S. So what I do is I go to the letter T, and then I go up a couple. So there's the sum of X, which was, again, list 1. Again, get in the habit of putting in those parentheses. So the sum of X is 31. Next, I have the sum. So again, I go to the catalog, T, up a couple, of X, which is list 1, Y, which is list 2. So that is the sum of X, Y. Number 3 is the sum of Y squared. In number 4, I need to kind of slow down a little bit, and I'm going to do this in 2 parts. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the sum of Y and then square it. So the sum of Y, which is list 2, so that's the sum of Y squared. Last one on this list is the sum of xy, so, or excuse me, the sum of x plus y. So the sum of x plus y Number 6 is x sub 3, sum of x squared. So again, this is 2 different pieces. So x sub 3 is the number 9. And then I'm going to multiply that with the sum of x squared. So x sub 3, 9, and then the sum of x squared. So the sum of x squared. So I just need to multiply this by 9, and there you go. Number 7, the numerator is the same thing as number 2. The denominator is the same thing as number 1. Number 8, x sub 2, is the second number of the x's, which is 2. Y sub 3, which is the third number of the y's, which is 8. So this is the square root of 2 divided by 8. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take 2 divided by 8 and then square root that answer. Number 9, I have 3 parts to this. I have the sum of x, sum of y, and then I'm dividing by x sub 5. All right, so the sum of x, which is the same thing as number 1. The sum of y, which was that first step of number 4. Then x sub 5 is the 5th number of the x's. The 5th number of the x's is the number 5. So the numerator is 31 times 26. And I am dividing this by 5. All right, so number 10, I'm going to find the sum of x squared y. So again, if you look at the calculator, that is the sum of x squared y. Okay, the next thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the sum of xy. All right, so that's the sum of xy. With that, I am going to square it and then divide by 5. So to accomplish that top answer, what I need to do is I need to add those two things together. So I need to add the sum of x squared y plus the sum of that xy squared divided by 5. So this numerator is 6969.2. The denominator is 5 minus 1. And then this is all inside of the square root. So I take this 6969.2, divide that by 4, and then take the square root of that result. So divide by 4, and then square root. Don't forget how to round numbers. Next, we have a question about random bias. And this one is, excuse me, football fans. Okay, you determine the proportion of Cardinal to Cowboy fans. So it's football fans in general. So who did I ask? Did I ask everybody that's a football fan? No, I didn't ask everybody that's a football fan. I only asked people in Albuquerque. So this is biased. Okay, next, a sample was constructed to determine which politician would be elected in an Arizona governor's race. Every 25th registered voter in Arizona. Okay, so if I want to know who's going to win a race, I need to know a sampling of who's voting, like the people that vote. And so what I asked is people who vote, right? Obviously not everyone, but excuse me, nobody was specifically excluded. So this is random. Want to know how many people in Glendale own a boat when you take a census or a sample? So your population is Glendale. That's very large. So what you need to do is you need to take a sample. You want to know how many of your current teachers work out after school. So current teachers is your population. That's very small. So you can take a census. Quantitative or qualitative, the painting was created in an oil paint. Okay, that's a quality. The painting costs $300. That's a quantity. Next, we have a basketball player made 8 baskets out of 20. What percentage were made? So that was 8 made out of 20. So that's 8 out of 20. Move the decimal 2 places, and that would create 40%. Next, a kicker missed 3 field goals out of 12 attempts. What percentage of the kicker's field goals were made? So again, how many were made? He didn't make 3, he missed 3. So that would imply that he made 9 out of 12. Move the decimal 2 places, and that yields 75%. The student prided on herself on being present 95% of the school days. If there are 180 days in the school year, how many days was she present? So we have a percentage. This is going to be 95% of 180 days. So what you need to do is you need to take the current decimal of the percentage, which is after the 95, and move it backwards. So this is 0.95. So 95% of multiply 180. So 95% of 180. 7% of 7% of students own their own TI-83 calculator. If there's 2,020 students in school, approximately how many of them should own their own TI-83? So again, we already have the percentage. So this is 7%. I'm taking 7% of 2,020 students. So again, take the current decimal point, move it 2 places backwards. So that would make 0.07. So that's 7% of 2020. $141.4. Again, give me that math answer. Perfect. Last but not least, number 21. During a study, it was found that 6 out of 29 people wear collared shirts on a regular basis. If there's 2,030 people that attend your school, how many of them should wear collared shirts on a regular basis? So the first thing we do is we construct a percentage, and that's 6 out of 29. So 6 out of 29 is that decimal. Again, don't touch that decimal. What I'm going to do is in calculator speak, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that is answer, and then just kind of use it from there. Okay, so what I'm technically mathematically doing next is I'm using this percentage, 2069 of 2030 people. So again, calculator speak, what I'm doing is I'm going to say answer times 230. Okay. So calculator talk, that's what I'd be doing. So here we go. I go with answer, that keeps the most accurate answer, times 2030. All right. So that is how, don't write calculator speak, but that's what I did. All right, so there is your review B.